Hello and welcome to Discover Rocky Mount. I'm Selena Richardson, and we are talking today with my special guest, Kimberly Cofield. She is the Executive Director of My Sister's House. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. Glad to have you.
Thank you.
So the organization that you work for at My Sister's House, it sounds like a haven, somewhere of safety. Tell us about what My Sister's House does.
My Sister's House is a nonprofit agency that supports victims of domestic violence, sexual assault, and human trafficking. We advocate for the client from start to finish. We walk them through the judicial, legal process, and we follow up with them up to a year after they're discharged from our services. Services are provided free of charge to the client. Whatever they have need of, we try to make sure we have the resources to supply it, whether it be toiletries, clothing, identification, maybe a bus fare, and all that's possible through community and foundation and federal grant funding.
Okay.
So,
You said something about when they are discharged from the program. So is this like a program where they follow a certain amount of steps, or just when they're ready to leave? How does that work?
most of them will come in, let's say they come in for a protection order. We call them every 6 months, 3 to 6 months, just to make sure they're okay. Each one will, they'll generate a safety plan for whatever their situation is, and we just make sure they're sticking to their safety plan. Because at the end of the day, we want them to survive.
Right.
We want them to be
absolutely.
safe
Absolutely.
and secure wherever they are.
Okay. And I've heard the name for a long time. About how long has My Sister's House been around?
In 1981, the Christ Episcopal Church of Rocky Mount formed. It was called the Rocky Mount Women's Abuse Shelter, and in 1986 they changed the name to My Sister's House.
Okay. Well, as far as getting help, is it usually the client that reaches out for help themselves, or is it someone else who recognizes and kind of gets the person to you?
I would say 95% of the time is the client. 5% of the time it could be a concerned mother, grandmother, or another family member that's calling and they want to get information. What can they do? But we always say, well, if the client or if that person needs help, they have to call themselves.
Okay, so they do call. So for women who may think that they're dealing with maybe normal relationship things, don't recognize that there's abuse on whatever level, what are some signs that they should be noticing if they're in potential danger?
Their partner may discourage or persuade them not to associate with their friends. They might get jealous. Isolation is a big cue. If you feel like they're trying to isolate you from family, friends, you need to be aware of that. They may try to control your finances. They may control how you take your medication, when you take your medication. They might do other things like preventing you from working. They can text you, call you when you don't answer. They get upset. What were you doing? Who were you with? Who were you talking to? They can pressure you into having sex when you don't want to, and they can threaten you with more violence or with a weapon, knife, gun. Threaten you that way.
So many things. So lots of methods it seems like they have for taking away independence, and freedom and things like that. Well, what are some of the reasons you think that domestic violence may go on for some time before a person reaches out for help or leaves?
One of them is they always say, I love him. And they don't want to see them hurt. They don't want to see them go to jail. They don't want them to be arrested. Either that or economically, they may not have a job to support themselves financially. They may have nowhere else to live. So they're dependent upon that partner for those things.
So I imagine that there's children involved sometimes with this. You take in the children with the women as well?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of effects do you see that or is possible to happen long-term or short-term where there's children involved?
Okay, the children are traumatized by it. Some of them reenact what they see. So they have more aggressive behavior. You see more misconduct. They might develop sleeping disorders, low self-esteem, depression, anxiety. All those things play a part in it.
Yeah, some things I certainly hadn't thought about, like the aggression, that they, because you're mimicking what they think is their normal.
Right.
Well, goodness, do the women seem to be in a better place emotionally after they've been with your program for some time?
Yeah, because they can come into the office, tell their story, and not be judged. And we give them the freedom to express themselves. We give them journals also to channel it and get it out of their system. So that is the initiation of the healing process.
So very important, that healing process. Well, we know that there is some help
Yes.
through organizations like My Sister's House, and you have an event coming up, this one in particular, Walk in Her Shoes, is that the right name?
Yes, ma'am. Walk in Her Shoes is all about Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It's designed, we like men to participate and walk in heels if they can, just to, it brings community awareness and excitement to the event. And the sole purpose is to raise awareness, to inform the community the services that we provide, and also for funding. It's a fundraiser
Right.
to continue those services.
So what happens at Walk in Her Shoes?
Okay, we will have men, women, whoever wants to volunteer, or walk around. Hopefully, they can walk a mile.
Oh, wow. Okay.
and we'll have trophies. The red heels, trophies and things like that. But
And they're wearing women's shoes, like heels and things like. Wow.
yeah, some of them will.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
'Cause I'm going to try to walk in heels around. I'm going to try to do that.
Okay, goodness, I gotta find a heel that looks like a sneaker, I think, for this one. And so if people want to participate in this, how would they get signed up? Or you need to know in advance?
They can, if they see our flyer or our QR code, they can scan the QR code or call the office. And the QR code will take them to the InstaRaise page, and they can either donate or register to become and sponsor a walk and get people to sponsor them to walk.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. Where's it going to be taking place, the Walk in Her Shoes event?
It's going to be April 5th at 10 o'clock at the Rocky Mount Senior Track in Rocky Mount, and we look forward to everyone coming.
Yes.
It's going to be exciting.
This sounds exciting. Is this the first time for it?
It's the first time for me
Okay.
hosting it, yes.
Okay,
But I
well-
think they've done it years ago.
Right.
But I don't know in recent years if they've done it.
Yes, indeed. It sounds like it's going to be a very eventful, exciting event with those shoes. Lots of photographic moments, too, I can imagine.
Exactly.
Well, outside of this particular fundraiser, what are other ways that people can help if they are able to?
They can donate to our store if they have clothing. We receive toiletries, food, financial donations, whatever they feel like, but it's yeah.
Okay. So what's the best way to reach out? Is there a website, or will that QR code take them to?
Okay, the website, we have a website, it's mshnc.org, and there you can go to our website and you can donate there, or we take checks in the mail, or you can stop by either of our offices in Tarboro or Nashville, and make your donation.
Make a donation. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Well,
Anything
thank
else you
you.
want to add before we wrap it up?
No, ma'am.
All right.
Hope to see you there.
Yes, indeed. That's the Walk in Her Shoes event. You'll see that QR code, or maybe you have now, but I've been talking with Kimberly Cofield, Executive Director of My Sister's House, and we thank you so much for joining us today. Make sure you connect with us on the City TV 19 YouTube page.